Well, hello Berkshire Museum Camera Club, and hello Mr. Kitty Meow Meow. That's the image we're going to be working with today during our 5-minute photo fix in Lightroom, where we're going to transform this image into this. And it really is a 5-minute fix, or in today's case, more like a 6 minutes. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is choose a color profile. This will just give us a good starting point to go from. You won't be able to see the menu I'm clicking on because my screen capture software acted a little bit wonky today. But I'm choosing Adobe Vivid. Just adds a little bit more pop to the image. So the next thing I'm going to do is go up to the Spot Healing tool. It's a tool I don't usually use in Lightroom because it tends to be slow and clunky. I'd rather use Photoshop for blemishes, but we got just a few spots on the chair. They're a nice and quick cleanup, just to remove a few distractions. And now that that's done, I'm going to change my color balance. And usually I would try auto. It usually does a pretty good job. Today, it looks a little bit over cool. So I'm going to warm things up manually to where I think it looks best. Right about there, and I'm going to leave all these other settings alone because, again, I don't think they need to be changed. My highlights are good. Anything which is black, I'm going to make blacker, which I'm going to use my selection brush for. I'm going to make my brush very big and very feathered because I'm going to make a vignette around the image, about a -1 exposure. I know I can use Lightroom's built-in vignette tool, but this way gives me a little bit more control, painting the light exactly where I want it. If I hit O, it can show me an overlay of exactly where I painted, where my vignette is going to land. Hit O again, and the overlay goes away. And I'm going to go over and make a new selection brush. We're going to be making lots of new ones today. And what I want to do is get rid of this bright area in the upper left. I want to completely darken it out so we're focused entirely on the cat. So I've set the exposure very, very low. I've increased the contrast. That'll help with the darkness as well. And I'm just painting around. It doesn't have to be exact. I just want to make sure right now I'm not painting on the cat. I don't want to paint on the chairs too much. I'm just getting rid of the distractions that are in the background. And get that little last bit there. And got a little bit more near the cat I want to get as well. And finish up that last little bit, and we're ready to make our next new selection brush. I'm making it bigger and more feathered, and again, same, low exposure, high contrast. And all I'm doing this time, I'm getting a little bit of the feather on the furniture and on the cat, just to make it a smoother transition. That'll make it a little bit more difficult for people to tell exactly what spots got painted and what spots didn't. So I'm going to create a new selection. Oh, and I'm going to double click on Effect. That'll clear my settings, so I'm painting, not with the previous settings. And I'm just going to paint on the cat this time. Again, if I hit O, I can see the area that I'm painting as I go along. And again, this does not have to be exact. I pretty much want to just get most of the cat. And when I hit O again, I can get rid of the overlay. And I'm just going to be increasing texture. If I drop it down, things get blurry. If I bring it to the right, they get tack sharp. Tends to sharpen without affecting noise too much. Next, we have clarity. People use it too much, it adds a lot of contrast. I'm just going to use it a little bit. I put it at 24. And just a tad of dehaze. That adds a little extra punch as well. And next I'm going to add a new layer. I'm just going to be coloring along this edge. You see where it looks a little blue in the shade of the cat? So I'm just going to color with a feathered brush right in that area. Just on the areas where it looks a little blue. And then I'm going to go up to our temperature I can slide it a little bit to the left, which makes things look more blue. Or what I'm going to do here is slide it just a little bit to the right to make the color more in line with the rest of the image. And now I think we have just one last new layer to make. I'm going to zoom in close to the eye, and I'm going to select just the brighter areas of the eye. Fill those in. Sorry, no overlay this time, but you can see where I'm painting. And there it was. So I'm going to brighten the highlights, darken the shadows, although that didn't really do much. Now I can change the color of the cat's eyes a little bit by sliding the tint to the green, or, God help us, pink eyes. I'm going to add just a little bit of green and change the hue by adding a little bit of blue in there. Little bit of contrast, maybe. A little too much green, so let's bring that down just a little bit. And I like that right about there. And we take a look at our image, and we went from, there's our before to our after. And that's been our 5-minute photo fix.